Hey Libra, welcome back to the channel. I just sat down with my deck and honestly, the energy coming through for you right now is something I need to share immediately. If you've been feeling like something big is brewing in your life, like there's this undercurrent of transformation that you can't quite put your finger on, you're absolutely right. The cards are confirming what you've probably been sensing for weeks now. Before we dive into your reading, I want you to take a moment and really ground yourself, because what's coming through is significant. This isn't just about small adjustments or minor tweaks to your life. We're talking about substantial changes that are going to reshape your reality in ways you might not even be able to imagine right now. And here's the thing, Libra, these changes aren't random. They're not happening to you, they're happening for you. The universe has been listening to every prayer, every wish, every moment you've sat there wondering when things were going to shift in your favor. I shuffled the deck with your energy in mind. And honestly, from the first card that came out, I knew this reading was going to be intense. So grab your coffee or tea, get comfortable, and let's explore what the universe wants you to know right now. If this resonates with you at any point, drop a comment below. I love hearing how these readings land for different people. All right, let's see what we've got here. The first card that came through for you is the Three of Wands, and I have to tell you, when I saw this card, I literally got chills. This card is all about expansion, about looking toward the horizon and seeing possibilities that extend far beyond what you currently know. You know that feeling when you stand at the edge of something and you can just sense that your world is about to get so much bigger? That's exactly what this card is telling us. The Three of Wands is saying that you've been in a planning phase, maybe for months now, and you've been laying groundwork without even fully realizing the magnitude of what you've been setting up. Think about it, Libra. All those small decisions you've been making, all those moments where you chose growth over comfort, where you chose to believe in yourself even when it felt scary, those weren't insignificant. They were building blocks. The figure in this card stands looking out at ships coming in, and those ships represent your efforts finally returning to you with abundance. But here's what's really fascinating about this particular placement. The Three of Wands isn't just about waiting for good things to arrive. It's about active anticipation. It's about you standing in your power, knowing that you've done the work, and now you're ready to receive what's coming. There's this beautiful confidence in this card that I want you to really absorb. You're not hoping things will work out, you're knowing they will, because you've created the conditions for success. I'm also picking up that some of you might have been feeling restless lately. Maybe you've been in a situation that feels too small for who you're becoming. The Three of Wands is validating that feeling. You're outgrowing certain containers in your life, whether that's a job, a relationship dynamic, a living situation, or even just an old version of yourself. And the universe is saying that this restlessness isn't something to suppress or feel guilty about. It's information. It's your soul telling you that bigger things are calling your name. What I love about this card in your reading is that it's telling us the preparation phase is complete. Whatever you've been working on, whatever you've been building, you're now entering the manifestation phase. This is when things start moving from the internal realm into physical reality. So if you've been feeling impatient, I get it. But I need you to understand that the wait is almost over. The changes aren't coming someday in the distant future. They're coming now. The second card that appeared is the Eight of Wands, and okay, when I tell you that this card completely confirms everything the Three of Wands was saying, I mean it. If the Three of Wands is about anticipation, the Eight of Wands is about rapid movement. This card shows 8 wands flying through the air at incredible speed, and that's literally what's about to happen in your life. Things that have been stuck or slow are about to accelerate in a way that might even catch you off guard. The Eight of Wands is one of the fastest moving cards in the entire deck. It represents swift action, quick communication, things falling into place with almost miraculous timing. You know how sometimes you wait and wait for something to happen, and then suddenly everything happens at once? That's the energy of this card. The universe has been coordinating things behind the scenes, and now all those pieces are going to come together in rapid succession. I'm getting that some of you might receive news or communication that changes everything. This could be a job offer, a message from someone significant, an opportunity that comes out of nowhere, or even just a sudden realization that shifts your entire perspective. The key word here is sudden. The Eight of Wands doesn't mess around with slow builds. When this energy hits, it hits fast. For those of you who have been working on creative projects or business ventures, this card is incredibly positive. It suggests that things you've been developing are about to take off. Maybe you've been building something slowly, wondering when it's going to gain traction, and the Eight of Wands is saying that moment is imminent. We're talking about viral potential, rapid growth, momentum that builds on itself. Once things start moving, they're going to move fast. But I also want to talk about the potential challenge of this card because it's important. When things move this quickly, it can feel overwhelming. You might find yourself in a position where you have multiple opportunities or demands on your time all at once. The Eight of Wands is asking you to stay grounded and focused. You don't have to say yes to everything. In fact, with all this rapid movement, it's going to be crucial that you stay connected to your priorities and your values. Don't let the speed of things sweep you into decisions that aren't aligned with your authentic path. There's also something here about travel or movement. For some of you, these changes might literally involve physical relocation or significant travel. For others, it's more metaphorical. You're moving into a new phase of life, a new level of consciousness, a new version of yourself. Either way, the message is clear. Stagnation is over. Movement is here. The third card in your reading is the Two of Pentacles, and this is where things get really interesting because this card is adding an important layer to our understanding. The Two of Pentacles shows someone juggling two pentacles, and it represents balance, adaptability, and managing multiple priorities. After the rapid movement of the Eight of Wands, this card is essentially saying that you're going to need to be flexible and skilled in how you handle everything that's coming your way. Here's what I'm picking up with this card. The changes that are coming aren't just in one area of your life. You're going to be balancing multiple things simultaneously. Maybe you're going to be managing a new opportunity while still maintaining responsibilities you already have. Maybe you're navigating changes in your personal life while also dealing with professional shifts. The Two of Pentacles is telling us that you have the skills to handle this, but it's going to require conscious effort and attention. As a Libra, balance is literally your signature energy, right? But here's the thing. The Two of Pentacles isn't about finding a perfect static balance where everything is even all the time. It's about dynamic balance, about constantly adjusting and readjusting as circumstances change. Think of it like surfing. You're not standing still on that board. You're constantly making micro-adjustments to stay upright as the wave moves beneath you. That's the energy you're being called to embody right now. I'm also getting that some of you might be dealing with financial fluctuations or decisions. The Two of Pentacles often appears when we're managing resources, weighing financial options, or dealing with income that varies. If you've been considering a change that has financial implications, maybe starting a business, going freelance, or making an investment, this card is saying that yes, there will be some ups and downs, but you have the ability to navigate them successfully. What's really important about the Two of Pentacles in this reading is that it's encouraging you to stay flexible rather than rigid. With all the changes coming your way, trying to control every detail is going to exhaust you. Instead, this card is asking you to develop a more fluid approach. Be willing to pivot when necessary. Be open to adjusting your plans as new information comes in. The people who struggle most during times of change are the ones who cling too tightly to how they think things should be. The people who thrive are the ones who can dance with uncertainty. There's also a playfulness to the Two of Pentacles that I don't want us to miss. Yes, you're juggling a lot, but it doesn't have to feel heavy or burdensome. There's a way to approach these changes with a sense of adventure and even joy. Can you see this as an exciting challenge rather than an overwhelming obstacle? Can you tap into that part of yourself that actually enjoys figuring things out and rising to the occasion? That mindset shift alone could change your entire experience of what's coming. Now, the fourth card that came through is the King of Pentacles, and this card is absolutely beautiful in this position because it represents mastery, abundance, and solid foundations. After talking about rapid changes and juggling multiple things, the King of Pentacles is showing us where all of this is heading. You're moving toward a place of greater stability, prosperity, and authority in your life. The King of Pentacles is someone who has built something substantial. This isn't about get-rich-quick schemes or temporary wins. This is about lasting success that comes from wisdom, skill, and consistent effort over time. And what's powerful about this card appearing in your reading is that it's telling us that you're stepping into this king energy yourself. You're becoming the person who has it together, who manages resources wisely, who creates security not just for yourself, but potentially for others as well. I'm picking up strongly that for many of you, these changes are going to significantly improve your financial situation. This could manifest in various ways: a promotion, a new job with better pay, a business that starts generating real income, investments that pay off, or even an inheritance or unexpected financial blessing. The King of Pentacles is one of the most prosperous cards in the deck, and its presence here is a very positive sign for your material well-being. But beyond just money, this card is about you claiming your power and your worth. The King of Pentacles knows his value and doesn't apologize for it. He doesn't undercharge, he doesn't diminish his accomplishments, he doesn't play small to make others comfortable. As these changes unfold in your life, you're being called to step into the same energy. Own what you bring to the table. Recognize your skills and expertise. Charge what you're worth. Set boundaries around your time and energy. The universe is supporting you in claiming your throne, but you have to be willing to sit in it. There's also something here about you becoming a source of wisdom or guidance for others. The King of Pentacles isn't just successful, he's someone others look to for advice and leadership. You might find that as you go through these changes and step into greater success, people start coming to you for mentorship or guidance. You might find yourself in a position where you're able to help others in ways you couldn't before. This is part of your evolution, Libra. You're not just leveling up for yourself, you're becoming someone who can lift others as you rise. The fifth card in your spread is the Two of Wands, and I find it so interesting that we have two twos in this reading, the Two of Pentacles and the Two of Wands. Twos in tarot are about choices, partnerships, and duality. They represent decision points and the need to choose between different paths. The Two of Wands specifically is about planning your next move and making decisions about your future direction. In this card, we see a figure holding a globe, looking out at the world with one wand in hand and another mounted beside him. This is someone who has achieved a level of success already, represented by the wands, but who knows there's more out there. There's a restlessness here, a desire for greater adventures and experiences. And I think this card is speaking directly to where many of you are right now. You've accomplished things, you've built certain aspects of your life, but there's this knowing that there's a bigger game to play. The Two of Wands is asking you to make some important decisions about your direction. With all these changes coming, you're going to have choices to make about which opportunities to pursue, which paths to take, which versions of your future you want to create. This isn't about making the perfect choice, it's about making a choice and committing to it fully. The figure in this card isn't just dreaming about the world, he's holding it. He's ready to take action. I'm getting that some of you might be feeling torn between different options right now. Maybe you're trying to decide between staying where you are or making a big change. Maybe you're weighing a safe choice against a riskier but potentially more rewarding option. The Two of Wands is encouraging you to think bigger than you have been. Don't just choose based on fear or security. Choose based on growth and expansion. Choose based on which option makes you feel most alive. There's also a message here about not doing this alone. The Two of Wands can represent partnerships and collaborations. As these changes unfold, stay open to working with others, combining your vision with someone else's skills, or joining forces in ways that create something bigger than what you could build alone. The right partnerships at this time could exponentially accelerate your progress. What I really want you to understand about the Two of Wands is that it's giving you permission to dream big. Really big. Bigger than feels comfortable. The world is literally in your hands right now. You're not limited by your current circumstances or your past experiences. You're only limited by your vision and your willingness to take action on that vision. So as all these changes start happening, I want you to ask yourself, what do I really want? Not what seems realistic or what others expect, but what does my soul actually desire? That's your North Star right now. The sixth card that appeared is the King of Swords, and this card is bringing a very important energy to your reading. The King of Swords represents clear thinking, truth, mental clarity, and the ability to cut through confusion and get to the heart of matters. After all this talk about changes and opportunities and decisions, this card is reminding you that your greatest asset through all of this is going to be your mind and your ability to think clearly. The King of Swords is someone who doesn't get swept up in emotion or drama. He looks at situations objectively, analyzes them carefully, and makes decisions based on logic and truth rather than fear or wishful thinking. As a Libra, you have a natural ability to see multiple perspectives, and the King of Swords is asking you to use that gift wisely right now. Don't just consider what you want to be true, look at what is true. Don't just listen to what people say, watch what they do. I'm picking up that some of you might need to have some difficult conversations as these changes unfold. The King of Swords is excellent at communicating clearly and directly, even when the message is challenging. You might need to set boundaries, end situations that aren't serving you, or speak truth that others don't want to hear. This card is giving you the strength and clarity to do that. You don't have to be mean or harsh, but you do need to be honest and direct. There's also something here about cutting away what no longer serves you. The King of Swords carries a sword, and swords are tools for cutting away the unnecessary. As all these positive changes come into your life, you're also going to need to release things that are holding you back. Old beliefs about yourself, relationships that drain you, commitments that no longer align with your path, patterns of thinking that keep you small. The King of Swords is asking you to be ruthless in your discernment. Just because something was right for you in the past doesn't mean it needs to continue into your future. What's powerful about having this card in your reading is that it suggests you're going to be thinking more clearly than you have in a long time. If you've been confused or uncertain about your path, that fog is lifting. You're going to see situations and people for what they really are, not what you hoped they would be. And while this clarity might be uncomfortable at times, especially if it reveals things you didn't want to acknowledge, it's ultimately incredibly freeing. You can't make good decisions based on false information or denial. The truth, even when it's hard, gives you solid ground to stand on. The 7th card in your reading is the King of Wands, and can we just take a moment to appreciate that you have 2 kings in this spread? This is significant, Libra. Kings represent mastery, authority, and mature expressions of power. Having both the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands shows that you're stepping into a very empowered phase of your life where you're embodying both practical mastery and creative leadership. The King of Wands is all about vision, charisma, inspiration, and bold action. This is someone who doesn't just have ideas. They make those ideas reality through sheer force of will and enthusiasm. This card is telling us that you're tapping into a level of confidence and creative power that you might not have accessed before. You're not just going along with changes that are happening to you. You're actively creating and directing these changes according to your vision. I'm really feeling that this card is speaking to your personal power and magnetism right now. The King of Wands is naturally attractive to others. People are drawn to his energy, his passion, his certainty. As you step into these changes and embody this king energy, don't be surprised if you notice people responding to you differently. You might find doors opening more easily, people saying yes to your requests, opportunities coming to you rather than you having to chase them. This is what happens when you own your power fully. For those of you involved in creative work, entrepreneurship, or any field where vision and innovation matter, this card is incredibly positive. It suggests that you're entering a phase of incredible creative flow and productivity. Ideas are going to come easily, execution is going to feel natural, and what you create is going to resonate with others. This is your time to go big with your creative visions. Don't hold back or play it safe. The King of Wands is bold, and he's asking you to be bold too. There's also a message here about leadership. The King of Wands is a natural leader, someone who inspires others through example and enthusiasm. You might find yourself in leadership positions, whether formally or informally. People might start looking to you for direction and inspiration. And here's the thing, you're ready for that. You have the vision, the confidence, and the energy to lead. Don't shrink from that responsibility. Step into it fully. What I love about having both the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands in your reading is that together, they represent a perfect balance of practical manifestation and inspired vision. The King of Pentacles builds solid foundations and manages resources wisely. The King of Wands dreams big and takes bold action. You need both of these energies to create lasting success, and you're being shown that you have access to both right now. You can be both the visionary and the one who makes the vision real. You can be both inspired and practical. This combination is incredibly powerful. The 8th card that came through is the Empress. And honestly, when I pulled this card, I got emotional because this is such a beautiful, abundant, creative energy. The Empress is the ultimate creator. She represents fertility, abundance, nurturing, and the ability to bring things into being. This card is telling us that you're in an incredibly fertile period of your life right now, where what you plant is going to grow abundantly. The Empress is often associated with creativity and creation in all its forms. This could be literal creation, like having a child or starting a family, but more broadly, it's about any creative endeavor. Are you working on a project? Building a business? Developing a relationship? Creating a new version of your life? The Empress is saying that these things are going to flourish right now. The conditions are perfect for growth. What's really important about the Empress is that she creates from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. She doesn't force or push or struggle. She nurtures and allows things to develop naturally in their own time. As all these changes unfold in your life, this card is reminding you to stay in that abundant, allowing energy. Trust the process. Trust that what's meant for you is coming. Trust that you don't have to force or control every detail. I'm also picking up strongly that this card is about you receiving. The Empress receives nourishment from the earth, blessings from the universe, love from others. She's open and receptive, and I think this might be something you need to hear right now, Libra. With all the talk about taking action and making changes, don't forget to also receive. Allow yourself to be supported. Allow yourself to be helped. Allow yourself to accept compliments, opportunities, abundance that comes your way. You don't have to earn everything through struggle. For those of you focused on relationships, the Empress is a beautiful sign. She represents deep, nurturing love and connection. If you're in a relationship, this could be a time of deepening intimacy and greater emotional fulfillment. If you're single, this card suggests that love is absolutely available to you, especially love that feels abundant and nurturing rather than scarce and anxious. The Empress doesn't chase, she attracts. She embodies her fullness, and people are naturally drawn to that energy. There's also something here about connecting with your feminine energy, regardless of your gender. The Empress represents the divine feminine, the receptive, intuitive, nurturing aspects of consciousness. In a world that often rewards masculine energy of doing, achieving, and pushing forward, the Empress reminds us of the equal power in being, receiving, and allowing. Both energies are necessary for creation. You can't just push all the time, you also need to rest, receive, and allow things to come to you. The 9th card in your reading is the Ten of Swords. And I know when people see this card, they sometimes panic because it looks dramatic and painful. But I want to reframe this for you because in the context of this reading, the Ten of Swords is actually bringing a positive message. This card represents endings, yes, but endings that are necessary for new beginnings. It's about the complete conclusion of a difficult cycle. The Ten of Swords is showing us that something in your life is ending or needs to end. This could be a mindset, a situation, a relationship, a job, a pattern, something. And while endings can feel painful, especially when they're significant, this card is actually liberating. It represents rock bottom, the moment when you can't go any lower, which means the only direction from here is up. It's the darkest point before dawn. What I'm getting from this card in your reading is that part of these major changes coming your way involves letting go of something that's been causing you pain or struggle. Maybe you've been holding on to something long past its expiration date because you were afraid of the unknown. Maybe you've been enduring a situation that wasn't serving you because change felt scarier than staying. The Ten of Swords is saying that ending is here, and while it might feel difficult in the moment, it's clearing space for all the beautiful things we've been talking about in this reading. The Ten of Swords also represents mental liberation. It's about finally releasing thoughts, beliefs, or stories that have been keeping you trapped. Have you been telling yourself you're not capable of more? Have you been believing that you don't deserve better? Have you been carrying guilt or shame about past mistakes? The Ten of Swords is the death of those limiting beliefs. You're releasing mental patterns that have kept you small and stepping into a more empowered way of thinking. Here's what's really important about the Ten of Swords. It represents complete endings, not partial ones. This isn't about things getting a little better, but the fundamental problem remaining. This is about total transformation, about a chapter closing so completely that there's no going back. And while that might feel intense, it's also incredibly freeing. You're not going to be stuck in that old situation or pattern anymore. It's done. For some of you, this card might be validating something you already know needs to end. Maybe you've been thinking about quitting a job, ending a relationship, or walking away from a situation, but you've been afraid to pull the trigger. The Ten of Swords is giving you permission and encouragement to do what you know in your heart needs to be done. Yes, it might be painful in the short term, but staying would be more painful in the long term. Trust yourself. The 10th and final card in your reading is the Moon, and this card is bringing such an interesting energy to close out your spread. The Moon represents intuition, the subconscious, mystery, and navigating through uncertainty. After all the talk about changes and endings and new beginnings, the Moon is reminding you that not everything is going to be clear or obvious right away. Some of what you're moving through is going to require you to trust your intuition and be comfortable with ambiguity. The Moon is about what's hidden, what's beneath the surface, what's not yet fully revealed. As these changes unfold, you're not going to have all the answers immediately. You might not be able to see the full picture or understand exactly how everything is going to work out. The Moon is asking you to be okay with that. Can you move forward even when you can't see the entire path? Can you trust your inner guidance even when external validation isn't there yet? I'm picking up that your intuition is heightened right now. You might be having vivid dreams, strong gut feelings, or sudden insights that seem to come from nowhere. Pay attention to these. The moon is showing us that your psychic and intuitive abilities are particularly strong during this time of change. Your subconscious mind is processing a lot of information and trying to guide you, even if your conscious mind doesn't fully understand yet. The moon also represents facing fears and illusions. Sometimes we're afraid of things that aren't actually as scary as we think they are. Sometimes we believe things that aren't true. The moon illuminates these shadows so we can see them clearly and move through them. As you navigate these changes, you might confront fears you didn't know you had, or realize that stories you've been telling yourself aren't actually accurate. This is part of the transformation process. What's beautiful about ending your reading with the moon is that it suggests you're entering a deeply intuitive and spiritually connected phase of your life. You're not just making changes on the external level, you're transforming internally as well. You're connecting more deeply with your inner wisdom. You're learning to trust yourself in new ways. You're discovering parts of yourself that have been hidden or dormant. The moon also reminds us that transformation isn't always linear or logical. It's messy sometimes. It's emotional. There are cycles and rhythms to honor. You might have moments of clarity followed by moments of confusion, and that's okay. That's actually part of the process. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to keep moving forward, trusting that the path will reveal itself as you walk it. So Libra, when I look at this entire reading together, here's what I want you to understand. You're standing at the threshold of massive transformation. The 3 of Wands and 8 of Wands are showing us that changes are coming quickly. The 2 of Pentacles is reminding you to stay flexible and balanced as you navigate multiple shifts. The King of Pentacles and King of Wands are showing you stepping into powerful, masterful energy in both practical and creative ways. The 2 of Wands is asking you to make bold choices about your direction. The King of Swords is giving you the mental clarity to see truth and cut away what doesn't serve you. The Empress is showering you with abundance and creative fertility. The 10 of Swords is clearing away old pain and limiting patterns completely. And the moon is reminding you to trust your intuition and be comfortable with mystery as this unfolds. This is not a small reading, Libra. This is not about minor adjustments. This is about your life transforming in significant ways. The title of this reading is Holy Crow. You have no idea how many changes are coming your way. And I chose that title before I even pulled the cards because I could feel the intensity of what's coming through for you. And now, seeing these 10 cards laid out, I can confirm that the changes coming are indeed massive and they're happening soon. The 8 of Wands doesn't give us months of waiting. Things are accelerating now, so what do you need to do? First, prepare yourself mentally and emotionally for rapid movement. Things that have been stuck are going to get unstuck fast. Second, stay flexible and adaptable. Don't cling rigidly to how you think things should unfold. Third, step into your power fully. You have 2 kings in this reading. You're being called to embody mastery and authority. Fourth, be willing to let go completely of what's no longer serving you. The 10 of Swords is clearing space for your new reality. Fifth, trust your intuition deeply. The moon is telling you that your inner guidance system is strong right now. Sixth, stay grounded in practical matters even as you dream big. The balance of earthy pentacles and fiery wands in this reading shows you need both vision and execution. Seventh, be open to receiving all the abundance that's coming your way. The Empress is bringing gifts. Make sure you're open to accepting them. I want to close by saying that I really believe you're ready for this, Libra. The universe doesn't bring changes we can't handle. Everything coming your way is something you have the capacity to navigate successfully. You might not feel ready, you might feel scared or uncertain, but trust that you have everything you need within you. These changes aren't happening to you as punishment or chaos. They're happening for you as evolution and expansion. If this reading resonated with you, I would love to hear about it in the comments. Tell me what's been going on in your life and how these messages are landing for you. And if you know another Libra who needs to hear this, please share this video with them. We're all in this together, supporting each other through our transformations. Remember, change is how we grow. Change is how we become who we're meant to be. Yes, it can be uncomfortable and scary, but on the other side of this change is a version of your life that's more aligned, more abundant, and more authentic than what you have now. You're not losing anything real, you're just releasing what was never truly yours to begin with. Thank you so much for being here and allowing me to read for you today. I'm sending you so much love and support as you navigate everything that's coming. Trust yourself, trust the process, and know that the universe has your back. You've got this, Libra. These changes are going to be amazing.